Hey everybody, as you know, Redberry is officially backing Lar Agent, and we recently launched a 5-week AI agent proof of concept sprint that turns your idea into a working agent. Since then, we've been getting a lot of questions, so we thought why not answer the most common ones in a quick Q&A together. I am Gaga, co-founder and CEO of Redberry, and together I'm joined with Revas, who is leading our AI development practice at Redberry.
Let's dive in.
Sure. Maybe let's start with the basics, Revas. So, what are AI agents really, and what do they actually do? That's been maybe the most common question that we've been getting.
Yeah. So AI agents are great at the work your team hates, but your business can't run without. So things like processing documents, triaging tickets, checking data across different systems, and etc. So they work with context, they take actions, handle tasks that are too messy for simple automations, but repetitive and error prone for your team, for human workers.
Sounds like true lifesaver to me.
Okay, switching gears. So what does the 5-week sprint actually look like?
Yeah, with the 5-week sprint, we spent the first week understanding the business flow and the operational context. So basically to understand the business process, which we need to automate with an AI agent. After we finish the discovery week, we start building the first version of the agent. We spent up like the 2-week period on that. And then we spend the last 2 weeks to iterate on top of already built agent, test it in practice, get feedback, and improve and refine things so that it can be proven that it works and automates the business process. And then we also come up with a plan to transform it into a fully functioning software, whether it's an embedded system, embedded product in some already existing system, or alternatively, it could be spun out as a completely separate software application as well.
So it's like a POC, which already does the job, right?
Yeah, that's true. So we are building the POC first during this 5-week sprint period. And after we got the POC and it's been validated, then we come up with a roadmap in terms of how to transform it into a full-fledged product, basically. Yeah, so another aspect that people have been asking about is around how AI agents can be integrated with the existing tools and systems that are being used by different businesses. So, Revaz, maybe you can elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah, we mainly connect through APIs by building custom tools that let the agent to read from and write to your systems. For example, if a vendor supports Model Context Protocol or MCP, we can plug that in directly. This means that the proof of concept works with your real systems without some heavy or risky integrations.
Yeah, that sounds actually great for like modern cloud-based software, but I guess like many businesses are still using legacy software that do not have that niceties of well-structured APIs, etc. So how can we deal with that with maybe some messy data systems that do not really expose the data through APIs, stuff like that?
Yeah, that's actually very common problem, and it's totally fine. So you don't need to, like everything be perfect and cleaned up before we start. The part of the sprint is discovering how your data and processes actually behave. In many cases, the agent helps surface those gaps as well, which is valuable on its own.
Sure, that sounds great.
So this one comes up a lot as well. Agents are non-deterministic. So how do we keep things safe even in a proof of concept?
Yeah, I mean, even at the proof of concept stage, it's important to implement some sorts of guardrails. That's basically part of proof of concept because ultimately you would need to prove that the agent can automate a business process in a safe and consistent manner. Of course, the non-deterministic nature of models has to be somehow harnessed to do that. So basically, the way we normally approach it is to identify the human in the loop confirmation points in the process and implement the process in a way that humans still need to approve stuff, confirm stuff, etc. And also, we normally implement tight scoping of tool access for different agents because normally we build some tools in the POC stage for agents so that agents can interact with different systems and actually perform some actions after the decisions are made. And what's pretty important in terms of guardrails is always to scope down which tools should be accessible by which agents in which context. So that's something that we take care of in the POC stage. But of course, to transform a POC into a production grade system, especially in regulated industries like finance, healthcare, etc., it requires much more work in terms of the harnesses and guardrails that would um, ensure that the AI agent is performing in a safe manner and can come up with predictable and persistent outputs.
Yeah, sounds great. Let's talk a bit about costs. So the POC is fixed at 20K, but what should team realistically expect for the phase two, for the next phase?
Yeah, sure. I mean, like with the POC sprint, we wanted to have as few moving parts as possible. So it's a very structured and packaged product, so say. So we have like 5 weeks, 20K for the POC sprint. So not much moving parts. With a full-fledged product, it can vary a lot. So like smaller embedded agents might be around 50 to 80K. Larger systems can grow up to 150 to 150K or even more. It all depends on what kind of feature set we are building around the agents. Because normally when you are scaling up agentic systems into full-fledged products, you need to build a lot of traditional software modules and
Yeah,
features around them. So it all depends on the business context and how the client actually needs to approach the system in terms of development. But yeah, normally, as I said, it can vary for smaller systems between 50 to 80K, and for larger systems, 150, 250, or even more in some cases.
yeah. And what if a team wants to take over development internally after the POC is done?
Yeah, I mean, we document everything, our whole journey, the code, architecture, tools, integrations, etc. So it's really easy for like the client team to get involved and take over what we build. There have been also cases when us and the client's internal team have been experimenting and building the same AI agents with different approaches to see how the efficiencies compare and basically to kind of like understand which patterns work best because like with we say that it's an AI agent sprint, but most of the times the systems that like even at the POC stage that we arrive at are multiple agent systems. And normally the way you divide concerns between the agents and the way you orchestrate the agents, the way agents delegate tasks between each other, etc., it makes a lot of difference in terms of outcomes. So there have been a lot of different cases, but normally we document everything. We document the evaluation runs. So basically, the client can understand which patterns prove to be the most effective in terms of automating the business process we are working on and arriving at the highest success rate of doing so. So basically, it's pretty easy to take over and continue. And of course, maybe last but not least, it's a Laravel code base. So being having a Laravel based agentic system gives you superpowers because Laravel is a batteries included framework, which means that if you want to build new stuff, build a lot of auxiliary modules and systems, or even build new agents, etc., it's super productive. Probably there's not a technical stack currently around the world more productive than Laravel and LaraAgent when building agentic AI systems. So I'd say that the companies with the POC have a really, really solid start and foundation to build upon.
Yeah. So if you are curious whether an AI agent could help your team, this sprint is the fastest way to find out.
Yeah, sure. And if you have more questions, just reach out. We are happy to talk. And yeah, thanks for watching.